we have a lot of opportunities to build our reserves, to increase our light, to feel, to recognize, to see the light in everything, to see everything as alive, to see the light in it. And then also to ask for it, to ask and receive, to walk out in nature and let the trees feed you with their light, let the animals, the stones, the mountains, the rivers feed you, literally, on that deepest level, not just a visualizing practice. Yes?
There's a fourth level too?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Thank you. I counted 3.
Thank you very much. Glad you're paying attention. The fourth level is the soul. Okay, it's the essential self. It is the being that you really are, even after this physical body's gone. And it's the part that shamans go to work on initially, because it sort of works downstream. So that's the aura and chakras in Sanskrit, it's chi in China, it's anima in Italian, it's Om in French. Everybody's got a name for it. But that is your essential self. And I had 7 near-death experiences before age 20, which was the hard way to get the shaman, to get the initiations of the shaman, where we map the territory of the non-physical world so we can act as that mediator. What it allowed me to do was to know very experientially that the soul exists, that in fact I was the soul looking down at my physical body and feeling still completely like me. And of course we all accept this now as, not a big deal, but basically that's what the soul is. So that's the part that we really, we really want to engage all 4 layers in anything we're doing that involves improving our life experiences, right? And that's really what we're talking about. Again, shamanism's about the end point here, improving your life experience. So you want to increase the light within you, you want to increase your reserves, you want to be able to handle even the most difficult situations with grace and ease, ideally, as much as possible, or at least survive it, or to live another day, right? So that's, so you feed yourself well, and you make sure, physically you're giving yourself the best chance you can to have energy, right? You make sure you don't think all the negative thoughts, right? All the spiritual practices and good therapy and the books and everything help us to really dial that in, to have good attitudes, to perceive things in a way. In shamanism, essentially all of your experiences are perception, right? 5 people can witness the same literal event or have the same thing done to them and have 5 completely different experiences of it. So that's the part that you're in control of. You cannot make other people do this or that, or stop the avalanche, or stop these things so easily, but you can certainly change your experience of it. Ideally, that's the person of power and freedom that can do that. It's able to shift your perception, and that's why it's so important to have the energy to do that, to have the reserves, to have, survivalists know that 90% of being able to survive, being thrown out into a desert island or in the middle of a jungle is attitude, is wanting to. The rest is rubbing sticks together, right? So, but what do we need to be able to do that? We need to have those reserves. We need to have enough energy to want to make it through and to do what's necessary, to do that. Right? So, so then, mentally, and then of course, mythically, this is where you came here for, and we could talk, anybody can talk about this, but what we want to do is access these layers tonight. We want to use my shamanic gifts, if you will, and my team to help us to really build things at this core level, the core level of the energetic and the mythic. So we're going to do a journey that accesses that. But before we do, please share with me how each of you builds your light. Do you have practices? What do you do? because there's so many ways to do it. It would be really wonderful to share. I, for one, try to get out in the sun and sit in the sun, and that seems to be the way that I literally, literally take in. That's my meditation. That's how I do. That's one of the things, or fire ceremony. But anybody else?
The
Please
beach.
share.
The beach.
Beach, nice.
Every day, unless it's raining hard.
Okay. Good.
Candlelight.
Candlelight. That's nice. Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah. Any others?
We have a lot of fires, outside fires, and our animals,
Yeah.
the cats, the dogs, they enjoy it,
Mhm.
we do that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that reminds me, again, all of nature, really, including the animals. That's like they want us to enjoy the theater as much as they do. They really are here to help us, get through stuff and heal and increase our life, our energy.
I take my dog for a walk near Garrapata almost every day, and it's like no one's around, and so I'm just belting out and singing
Oh, that's
all the
great.
time.
Singing, for sure.
I make sound with no language.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Get away from the English.
Mhm.
Chanting,
Cool, yeah.
meditating.
Right. So that's the beautiful thing, is that we can just choose whatever, fits our lifestyle, whatever suits us, whatever we enjoy doing most, right? And that's the beauty of the diversity. We're all different, so nobody has to do it one way or the other. So find your way, find a way to at least be conscious of the idea, and then maybe do a few things like we've heard to feed yourself, to fill yourself with light, with energy, to fill your soul. Even when you feel good, even when you feel like you have enough, because that's the point, right? The most of what we see is when things get really, really bad, whether or not whether or not whether the practice is as practical as we thought it was. So you're doing it for that end reason, right? So you're doing it to be able to make it through.
I used to have.
I mean, that's it, right? When you're well fed is when you want to feed the soil. You got the energy to build. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I do that too. I have my altar at home with the representation, the symbolism of all my team, all the different spiritual beings that I've ever studied with and practiced with, these powerful beings and aspects of nature. And first thing, go and just thank you.
I was telling my friends.
But that brings up another good point, which is that the altars, the images, the things, like it's a sacred object, a power object we call them, or a place that you go to where you feel like you're being fed, because there's energy vortexes, there's all kinds of these interesting things, and it's always wonderful to engage with that and to, keep something with you or anchor it in a form, anchor it in an object. That's what that's all about. That's the mythic.
Yeah.
So you don't have to spend a lot of energy remembering and focusing and thinking. It's good to have this deeper layer available to you. Yeah, so wonderful. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just guide you on a journey now. Let's do a journey that allows us just right here to build our light, to build our reserves, to find maybe something that consciously you're not aware of connects you in that way, that you can then go out and incorporate into your daily life, into your daily practice, right? So let's do that. I'd like everybody just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And I'd like you to begin to move from behind your eyes, where you're normally looking out into the world. And begin to move down. Move down behind your mouth. And imagine looking out into the world from behind your mouth. And continue down into your throat. And if you lift up, you see your head above you. Continue down into your torso and stop behind your heart and see your heart beating in front of you. Right in front of you, this magnificent heart. And now enter your heart and see the blood rushing by, see the valves working. And in the center of your heart, there is a light, a beautiful sphere of shimmering light. Recognize the quality of that light. Recognize its intensity. This is the center of your soul, of your essential self. And now enter that sphere of light, leaving behind all that is not your essential self. Leaving behind your physical body, your stories, your history, and stepping into that pure, eternal, timeless, spaceless part of your being. And again, look around. Recognize the quality of the light. Is it as bright and as intense as it could be? Look around the surface of that light, and you can expand it out to beyond your physical body. And recognize, are there any leaks? Is there anything connected to that sphere of light? Any threads that are pulling light away from you? Imagine that you're holding a feather and you can actually use your physical hand to mimic the motion. Be careful of the person next to you. And just cut those threads. You don't need to be engaged with anybody, anything, any place, any time, other than right here, right now. So just cut those other engagements and recognize, see that you have an infinite column of light coming into the top of your sphere from the source, from your source. So that's plenty to feed you, as it is for everybody. And recognize that you have an infinite drain, a column of light down the bottom of the sphere, out the base of your body into the earth, that unconditionally, gracefully takes any of the heavy energy that you do not need to be holding on to either. And so there's this magnificent flow that everybody has. And recognize that flow and that your soul can be enriched and enhanced by all that is. All the way to the ends of the universe and beyond, to the nature that is around you. So imagine connecting a cord to the trees or the ocean or the sun, to all the great powerful beings that want to help you. Allow yourself to receive. To receive unconditionally. All the light that will build your reserves, so that under any circumstances when it's necessary, you will have plenty to give. Even every little molecule that you're breathing in feeds you with that energy and that light. Each breath. See that happening. See it on that energetic level, permeating through every cell of your body, every strand of DNA, every system, every organ, filling with that light from the infinite energy contained in the breath, each breath. Any part of your body in particular that physically needs healing, receive the concentration of that light. It may even need combusting, so that light can get white hot and combust any toxins, anything that needs to be burned away, so that it can be released out of the drain into the earth, like the ashes, and be mulched for you. recognize that as you receive in this way unconditionally and build your life, it really is for the benefit of all those around you, of your entire community, for generations to come. Because it's an inspiration, it's an example, a model of how to build that life. Of how to have that resiliency. Now focusing once again on that sphere of light in the center of your heart that spreads out around your whole body. Notice now the quality, the purity, the intensity of your light. Notice how much the entire room is lit up by all of our light. And in fact, the entire world. As you are a carrier of the light. And now make your way back into your heart and see the blood rushing by and see the valves working more clearly and powerfully than ever before. Stepping behind your heart, see it beating in front of you. And your clear lungs expanding and contracting to either side. Breath filled with energy for you. And make your way back up your torso, up through your throat. And back behind your mouth. And back behind your eyes. The eyes that not only receive light, but also emit light.